Hey, what is up guys? Strike here, coming at you with my first action figure review in ages. Like, I have not touched an action figure review in so long, but this is gonna be my first action figure review in like forever. As you can see here, I have the DC Icons Supergirl. She's number 25, and she is based off the Rebirth Renaissance storyline. Let me just talk about this for a second. This figure is like one of my most anticipated figures like ever, because not only am I a big fan of Supergirl, but ever since they launched Rebirth and they revealed what Supergirl was going to look like with Rebirth, I have just been in love with the design. I love the red skirt and, like, you know, the traditional like costume style for Supergirl. So I was really excited to get my hands on this figure when I saw that they were doing it. And not only that, but DC Icons has been the most inconsistent action figure line I could ever think of, because the figures started off so short and they have been like slowly growing their height. Like, their height's been growing. And not only that, but you know, just in general, the quality overall apparently has been rising. So the other figures in this wave are the Nightwing, this Supergirl, and then the I believe this is a 2-pack of the Superboy and Damian Wayne Robin. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the packaging. Not much to say, I mean, other than it looks cool. You can see all the accessories. There's a Supergirl logo on the top. There's nothing on the bottom except for the barcode. And yeah, so we're gonna get right into it, and I'll start off with all the accessories. You do get this little like slip thing that comes with the figure. It looks like it's just some simple instructions on how to do certain things. Like here for the Supergirl figure, it shows you the hands, it shows you how to put in the heat vision for the eyes, and it shows you how to do the stand that it comes with, a little flight stand. And then for these figures, it pretty much just shows you the same thing. It's just so that they printed like one sheet that they can stick in the entire wave, and they don't have to do individual little prints, but that is included with the figure. Okay, so the accessories the Supergirl figure comes with is pretty simple, and it makes sense. You get a set of flight hands so that you can put her in like all the different like traditional like Supergirl flying poses. I love that Superman and Supergirl figures come with these, because, you know, they're pretty traditional Superman comic book flight poses, which is really nice to have those. And then you get a set of the open palmed hands. Oh wow, it needs to focus a lot there. I wouldn't call them like open palm hands, but, you know, they're relaxed kind of like gripping hands. A little bit of paint kind of dripped onto the flesh there, but overall it's looking pretty decent. And then we'll go into the left hands there. This one looked like it turned out just a little bit better than the other one. And then the other one, put her open palm in my open palm there. And again, it looked like the paint came out pretty good. Also, we get a second head sculpt for Supergirl. Pretty terrifying, not gonna lie. It looks like someone took a spoon and gouged her eyes out. Kryptonite spoon, that is. But the point of that is this is supposed to be her laser beam firing eye. So, assuming this is correct, it looks like it should be. They're not really like flexible. I mean, they're like a soft plastic, but they're not like posable, I don't think. I'm trying to get it so that they kind of go out straight, because, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of, maybe I got them in backwards or something. Okay, this looks like it was supposed to be going in this way. Maybe I was doing it wrong, but still, it just looks slightly lopsided, not too bad. This looks much better than the first attempt that I had done there. I kid you not, I was about to say something about this head sculpt and then my camera died. So anyways, what I was going to say is, I mean, we already get a plain looking Supergirl face sculpt with the regular face sculpt. So to get her in just kind of this whatever face, like nothing's really going on, I'm just shooting lasers out of my eyes, like no big deal type of face. It's kind of weird to me. I mean, I guess we have to think of it as like maybe she's like helping put something back together. But I mean, you would think that with something like this going on for the figure, she'd be kind of doing like an angrier face sculpt at least. Because I mean, with like some of the Superman figures, like I have the Mezco 112 Superman, and he has, you know, the angrier face for the heat vision. So it's kind of weird that she's just kind of got this like this resting Kara face here, and that's pretty much it. But I do like dropped it. I do like the hair flow. I do think that's pretty cool. It is a little soft, so I mean, I don't know why you would want to like pose it, but I will show this on her body later. But last but not least, we get this neat little flight stand thing, which is pretty cool, and I will demonstrate this later. But that is basically all of the accessories that come with this figure. So let's move on to the actual figure herself. And here we have Kara Zor-El out of the packaging here, and man, do I really like the look of this figure. She looks awesome. I mean, just looking at the blues and the reds pop out so much. Oh man, I am so liking this figure. There's the S on the back of the cape. Now, I will say this right now, before I get into anything else. I have never, as long as I've been a superhero fan, I remember like when I was really big into Spider-Man as a kid, I would look at like costume stuff on eBay if I wanted to go for him as Halloween or something. And they always had these like capes that you could buy, these costume capes that have like, you know, there was like a black one with a Batman logo on it, and there was like a blue one with a red Spider-Man logo on it. But of course they had the Superman one, which is actually how it's supposed to be, but I wasn't familiar with Superman when I was that young. So I just really hated that. So like I grew up never liking the Superman shield on the capes on anything. But here, I mean, it's comic book accurate, so I mean, it's fine, and it's Supergirl, but just personally, I prefer just a straight red cape. Now, I will say this, though. This cape is really nice. I've had DC Collectibles figures in the past, and not a whole lot of icons. This is probably my 4th icon figure. Let me think about that. No, this is my 5th icon figure, sorry. This is my 5th icon figure. And I don't think I've ever had a figure with, especially from DC, that has had this nice of a cape. I really like the material this cape is made out of. But anyways, going into the face sculpt here, it is really beautiful, looking really nice. I mean, you can move her head side to side. She does have some pretty luscious hair though going on, so you can't exactly move her head up, and I'm afraid to because I don't want to break it, but you can't really move it down either. But the head sculpt is really nice. She is looking slightly off to her left, which is our right, the camera's right, which is a little annoying, but like it kind of gives for some like character. At least you can have her kind of like looking like that. The shield came out really nice. The shield on her chest looks really nice. Doesn't look like there's much paint splotching there. And there's not really anything like misaligned with the paint throughout the figure. I mean, the boots are just red. They're very long boots. But the skirt is also made out of the same material as the cape as well. So you can pose her legs. And I did not like the sound of that crack. Oh my God. I just heard something crack and I got really worried. But she's got this new leg joint thing going on where you can kind of like shift it down a little bit to make some of the posing easier. She does have, and I've never seen this on an Icons figure, and I have Green Arrow, Batman, who was broken, Lex Luthor, and the John Stewart Green Lantern, all of which have double jointed arms, but they don't really work really well. At least the first 3 of those don't. I don't remember the John Stewart too well, to be completely honest. I honestly don't know why I bought him. But she has a double jointed arm, which not only am I like really surprised because she is a DC Icons, but a lot of the female Marvel Legends figures I have don't even have double joints in the elbows. And I gotta say, this is probably my favorite Supergirl figure. Well, okay, it's my first Supergirl action figure, but out of all the other Supergirl figures that I have seen, this is definitely the best. I can already tell you, because some of the other figures I just don't, they aren't articulated, they don't have the same style that I prefer. I think like the closest one that I almost got, and I'm glad I didn't, was the DCUC Supergirl, which actually had the blue skirt, I believe. And I will say, though, that the cape is kind of making it a little bit hard for her to stand. But anyways, I should probably get into the articulation. Again, she does have rotation at the head, apparently 360. She can only look down that much, and she can't look up at all. And she can't really, I mean, she can kind of slide her head over a little bit, but I mean, there's not much you're going to get out of it. Underneath the cape, she's got one of those shoulder joint, ball joint shoulder. You got the twist at the swivel at the upper bicep. You got, again, the double jointed elbow, which is super exciting. And then you got the rotation and the hinge there at the wrist. You've got this like mid ab thing going on, or like, I don't know what you would call that, but it does rotate. It doesn't really, I mean, it kind of moves a little forward. I'm trying to like move it without moving the bottom, and then moving it back, you kind of get like that. But you do get the ab crunch there, which, oh man, she can lean forward and she can lean back that much with her arm out like that. So for whatever reason you wanted to just pose her like that, you totally could. I don't know why you would do that, but you know. You do, again, you get like the leg articulation. The skirt's pretty flexible. I'm trying not to go up the skirt. That's like my thing. But, well, screw it. Because you can see in there's like those new joints that they got in there. And I just realized this has like the made in China thing on the inner thighs, but you can barely tell. But yeah, they got that new joint thing, so you can like raise the leg to make, you know, bigger kicks and stuff. And for a figure with a skirt, this is pretty impressive. Like, she can totally just sit flat on her butt if you wanted her to. But that's not how ladies in skirts are supposed to sit. And then she's got the big boots here, which are double jointed at the knee. And then you've got the ankles, which can move back and forward. And there's sort of that kind of DC Icons weird pivot thing going on. But that's really about it for articulation. Luckily the cape and the skirt don't hinder any of it. And I just realized my thumb got cut on something. I don't know what, but... And she can stand pretty good on her own, but again, like, the cape is going to weigh her down a little bit. Again, like, she's just kind of like got this like plain expression on her face where she's just kind of like, woo, lasers. Like, she's not even like aggressive, and it's kind of, it would have been really nice to have seen that. But here's the flight stand as well. So I mean, you can kind of have her flying a little bit. I guess, maybe. Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe it's supposed to be like this. Isn't this neat? Isn't this neat? Okay, there we go. Oh, that's not gonna work. Maybe, yeah, there we go. Awesome. So, we got her on the flight stand here now. And she's ready to kick some some super criminal butt. And I think this looks really cool. This is a really neat little feature. I'm not gonna have her displayed with this head, but you know, you can do all sorts of little flight poses, especially since you got all the flight hands and whatnot. You can totally have her on here and it'll be a good time. I really like this. This is really neat. This is simple. I like this so much better than like the I don't know if I'd say it like it's so much better, but I kind of like this for action figures who can fly. I mean, if we're not going to get something like with a clamp, then it's really cool to get something like this, because this is really cool. I really like this. But yeah, so let's get into some size comparisons. So here is Supergirl next to the DC Icons Green Arrow and the DC Icons Lex Luthor, and with them all standing up straight as best as I could get them, it looks like she's right about the same height as Green Arrow, who is an older figure, and Lex Luthor's actually a little bit shorter. And I think that's kind of funny. Again, the only two other figures that I have out of this line are John Stewart, Green Lantern, and Batman, and neither of them are with me here at the studio. Actually, my Batman is actually all packed up back in his box because his arm snapped off on like the day that I bought him. So I kind of got pissed and threw him back in the box. And so yeah, that's her compared to two other DC Icons figures. And shout out to Taylor for getting me that Green Arrow a couple years ago. That was a really nice birthday present. So yeah, moving on. Here is the DC Icon Supergirl compared to the Pizza Spidey right here, and the Spider-Man MJ 2-pack Mary Jane Watson figure. As you can see, it looks like she's just about the same height as actually, it looks like both of them almost, because Spidey's a little bit taller, but it looks like she's the exact same height as Mary Jane, although it does look like Mary Jane has a bigger head. I mean, the proportions on Mary Jane look just to be a little bigger, just in general, but I mean, that's just how they make their figures. But yeah, that's her compared to two Marvel Legends figures. Here's Kara Zor-El next to the NECA 7-inch 1989 Michael Keaton Batman figure, and also the DC Collectibles Season 2 Arrow figure, sporting the bow from the Oliver Queen figure. You can see that she's pretty short in comparison to these guys. I mean, DC Collectibles makes both of these figures, even though they're different lines. But as you can see, they're pretty tall compared to her. And here's Supergirl next to the DC Multiverse Flash Target exclusive 2-pack, and we can actually see here that she's actually in pretty good scale with these guys, surprisingly. At least I think so, especially the figure over here, the Rebirth Flash. I mean, they're both Rebirth figures, and not only that, the DC UC figures, it looks like they're not badly in scale, which is great, because this Supergirl is way better than the DC UC Supergirls, I believe. And I don't know, she's just got a really good size comparison, even over here with the Ezra Miller Flash, wow. And yeah, it looks like maybe the two of these characters you can actually take out to brunch. And finally, here she is next to the Mezco 112 Batman and Superman from Dawn of Justice. This is the only Superman figure that I have, so of course I had to put her right up next to her cousin. And I have to say, out of all the DC Icons I think I have purchased, I think she fits the best with the Mezco figures and some of these other figures as well. I don't know what it is, but I mean, Green Arrow and the Batman obviously are way out of scale. And then you've got that Lex Luthor who, you know, is supposed to be out of scale, and the proportions probably aren't right. But I think he's got actually a pretty good height comparison to the Henry Cavill Superman, considering how short Jesse Eisenberg is. So, I mean, that's the only reason I pose him with my Superman. But this Supergirl, I think, is definitely the best fit for that, I think. Just my opinion, personally. I don't know. I'm really excited because I think she not only is in great scale with these two, and I have the Wonder Woman Mezco figure on pre-order, and I can't wait to put her up next to Wonder Woman, because that'll just be awesome getting to see them side by side. But I am very happy with the way that these figures are all how this Supergirl is in scale with all the rest of these figures. I gotta say, this Supergirl figure is an instant hit with me. I am really loving this figure. Switching out the hands is easy. The cape and the skirt are easy to work with to pose the figure around and get her into some awesome Supergirl-esque poses. The paintwork is amazing. The colors just pop right at you. The head sculpt could have been a little more expressive with maybe like a smile. Like, it didn't have to be a toothy grin or anything, but like you know, because I mean, even the Mezco Superman has like a slight smirk on his face. It would have been nice to get something along the lines of that with her, but in regards to that, I think it's a very nice, really well-made figure. This definitely shows that DC Icons is improving their quality, and this figure really makes me want to go and get Nightwing now, because I was debating about Nightwing, and Nightwing is actually taller than the Supergirl, I believe. So I do want to get him because I believe that he would fit really well in with the Mezco Batman that I have, and obviously her, because again, this is my favorite DC Icons figure now. It's probably my favorite figure DC Collectibles has ever made. I usually have DC Collectibles figures break on me, and I am a little bit worried that eventually down the line, I mean, I'm going to be careful with her, as gentle as with her as I can. I have a fear that down the line somewhere she might actually like break on me, and if that's the case, I would willingly buy another one. I don't want to have to do that, but I would definitely do it if, you know, if I had to. And again, this is one of the figures, because DC Icons did cancel, DC Collectibles did cancel a few of their Icons figures, and not only that, but they're also they're relaunching with a new series next year. Maybe we'll get a DC Essential Supergirl with that. But I'm really glad they didn't cancel this figure, because this is such a good figure. I definitely want to go get Nightwing eventually to add to my collection, and I will definitely do a review of him if I get him. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this review. I am so glad to be doing this again, because I had a blast doing this. I'm really, really glad this was the first figure that I relaunched my reviews with. And yeah, other than a few minor nitpicks, this is an amazing figure. If you want it, if you've been debating about it, go and get it. It is awesome. It's such a good figure, guys. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this review on the DC Icons Rebirth Supergirl figure. If you would like to leave a like to support the channel and subscribe for more reviews, the buttons are right down there below, so go ahead and do that. I will see you all in the next video. Later, taters.